大家好，欢迎来到我的小博客。In this video, I have compiled a full list of classifiers or measure words that you might come across on your HSK 3 test. The list will include classifiers from HSK 1 and 2 and add those which only appear in the exam starting level 3. Chinese language has no grammatical category of number. If in European languages we must specify whether we are talking about a single object or several objects or multiple objects, and you can only say cat or cats, Chinese language doesn't really need that. 我的书 can be understood as my book or my books, depending on the context. If, however, it is absolutely necessary to indicate that, say, I bought one book and not several books, I say 我买了一本书. So between a numeral and a noun, I put a measure word. It is also necessary between a noun and the following words. 这 and 那, this and that, 每 every, and 几 or 多少, which means how many for small numbers and big numbers. Some classifiers are used to count not objects like cats or books, but actions. They are called verbal classifiers or verbal measure words. And as the name suggests, they go together with a verb to show how many times an action has been done or what part of an action has been done. For example, 看一下, have a look. Literally, look a little bit, and 下 is a classifier for verbs. There are some more usages of classifiers, but on a more advanced level, and we don't need them for now. So what are the classifiers that you're required to know for your HSK 3 test? Pen is volume, and it is used for books or other printed material that looks like a book. 这本书, this book. 三本杂志, 3 magazines, or 几本课本, several textbooks. 点 or 点 is a classifier which means a little bit, is used for small, indeterminate quantities. For example, 喝点水, 吃点东西, drink some water, eat something. 个 is a classifier for people or objects in general. It is the most common classifier, which means one item, one piece of something. So in real life, if you have forgotten what classifier you should use with a certain object, you can always use 个, but mind that this is not the way to do it on the test. 个 is absolutely legit with people, 一个人, one person. With fruit, 三个苹果, 3 apples, and periods of time, 一个星期, 1 week. Remember that day, 天 and year, 年, do not need classifiers. 一天, 1 day. 每年, every year. 家 is a classifier for families and businesses. 一家商店, 1 shop. 一家人, a family, meaning people of one family. For example, 我们都是一家人. We're all one family. 块 is a very common classifier. It is used to denote a piece of something or a unit of currency. For example, 一块钱, 1 yuan, $1, depending on what currency you're referring to. It can also be used 一块地, a piece of land, 一块巧克力, a piece of chocolate, 一块蛋糕, a piece of cake. So these were the classifiers for HSK 1. Now let's add HSK 2 classifiers to the list. 次 is a verbal classifier for times that an event is taking place. For example, 去一次, to go once. 看三次, to watch 3 times. 件 is a classifier for clothes that you put on the upper part of your body. For example, 一件衬衫, a shirt. 一件大衣, a coat. Or when you say clothes in general, 一件衣服, a piece of clothes. It is also used with the word 事 or 事情. 我有一件事情想问你. I have something to ask you. Now for HSK 3, you will need several more classifiers. 把 is used for objects with a handle, like knives, scissors, umbrellas, teapots, and all kinds of maintenance tools. 一把雨伞, an umbrella. 一把刀, a knife. By the way, if you are wondering why we're pronouncing it 一把刀 and not 一把刀, it's the third tone, right? So if you're thinking why we do not pronounce this 把, the third tone, very prominently, you might want to check out my video here about how tones change in fluent speech. 班 is a classifier for a group of students. 一班学生, a group of students. 层 is a classifier for layers and stories of a building. 住在三层楼 to live on the third floor. 段 is used for paragraphs of a text, periods of time, and generally means section or part of a whole. 请读这一段. Please read this paragraph. 这段时间 this period of time. 口 means mouth and is used as a classifier for words that have mouths or are shaped like a mouth. For example, 一口井 a well, or it can also mean a mouthful. 一口药 a mouthful of medicine. But most likely you're gonna see this classifier as this. 我们家有三口人. There are 3 people in our family. Yes, we normally use 个 with people, and it's okay to say 我们家有三个人. But in the examples, when we say how many people there are in a family, we normally refer to them as mouths to feed. It's a little bit outdated, but the language still has it this way. So 口 is more common in such sentences, and this is actually what is required from you on a test. 辆 is a classifier for vehicles. 一辆车 a car. 一辆自行车 a bicycle. 一辆摩托车 a bike or a scooter. 条 the character means a strip of something and is used as a classifier with something that is long and flat. For example, roads, rivers, fish. Trousers and skirts, when you fold them, they also have this shape of flat and long. So a pair of trousers will be 一条裤子 and a skirt is 一条裙子. Other examples are 一条鱼 a fish and 一条河 a river. 位 is an honorific classifier for people. 一位老师 a teacher. You might want to use it with the people of a respected profession or somebody of a high social status. 张 is a classifier for flat objects. Remember we had 条, also flat, but 条 is flat and long, and 张 is more like square and flat, or something that has a flat surface. For example, 一张桌子 a table, 一张床 a bed, or 一张纸 a piece of paper. So these are the measure words that you might come across on your HSK 3 test. Now, how about some practice? Okay, so this was it. Feel free to ask questions in the comments below, and 谢谢大家耐心观看，下次再见，拜拜。